Well, I'm out on the Battle Creek down here in Tennessee, and I'm setting some muskrat traps out, and I thought I'd show you a pretty neat old school way to do this. Where we're at right now, this water is about 4.5 to 5 feet higher than it was when I set these traps. Now I can go check my colony traps now, but I can't actually set them because my arms aren't long enough. But you can use floats. You can use modern floats if you want to, or you can use what I consider old school floats. And the old school floats have a lot of advantages to them. Now this is one of the newer floats. The kind like I make. It's pretty common. But one thing about when you use that style float, anybody, even a non-trapper, knows that something's not right there because they stand out just like a sore thumb. So if you go around and you take a little bit of extra time with yourself, you can set out some really neat floats. What I'm talking about is when I'm out fishing or I'm out starting the trapping season, if you can get these out ahead of time, they're even better. If you've got a body of water like we have a lot of flooding here in Tennessee because of the mountains, and you always get logs and big limbs and stuff knocked into the water. When you see them or they're around muskrat sign, pull them over to something, whether it be tree limbs or stumps or whatever, and wire them off. Let them get their natural buoyancy, and then you can actually use that as a set. Now you've got something that a fisherman or another trapper probably is not going to pay attention to because it's just one of hundreds of logs they see throughout a day while they're doing this. I'm going to show you one of these, and I'm pretty sure we got a muskrat on it. The trap's gone. Okay, this is just nothing but a log that was floating, and I've wired it up here to where these trees come out of the water. That way it stays here. Now keep in mind, we're about 5 foot above normal water right now, and this float's doing good. Right here, I just take an axe. It's pretty rotten wood. I chop this out. This has been, you can tell by how old this is. This has been used for several years now. Sometimes another log will knock them out of the way, and you got to go find them and set them somewhere else. But I'm putting a nail right here. I put the lure up on, and then I've got another nail right here that I actually put my trap chain to. Difficult with one hand. There we go. Oops. There's a muskrat. I'm using a number 2 long spring, the old square jaw Victors. It's about all I can figure out good use for them now, but they are an excellent muskrat trap. So we're going to go ahead and set this back. I'll get this rat out. But these logs like this, and they're everywhere, when you look around, people just aren't going to pay attention to them. It's a good, almost a good sneaky way to get you a bunch of sets out without other people seeing them. Okay, here's the number 2. It's just an old fox trap. It's just stock. I find them at conventions every now and then. They lay really flat, and they've got a good trigger system on them. So all I've got to do in this notch push this away so we can see it better. Is now I've got a low spot in this. Most people are not going to notice that. If I'm in a place of bad theft, I can throw some leaves or some moss or something on top of it. But the rats are going to come up and down this log. These sets don't work as good if you just set them out here on top. You need to countersink them or find a place that's a little bit lower. And if you find a log that's got a lot of trappings, go and put 2 or 3 traps on it, because a lot of times you'll catch doubles and triples. Not a complicated set. It doesn't need to be complicated, but it's just one of those things that allows you to use what's on hand without having to carry so many of the man-made floats or spending the money on them. And I set these all over the Tennessee, Sequatchie, Battle Creek, and different places like that, and they catch me some rats. Well, that's our log right there. We just set up, took the rat off of. But out here in its natural environment, Looks just like anything else. No one's going to pay attention to what you got out here. If I drop a man-made float right there, any fisherman's going to come by and is going to see everything. I don't get much messing around with sets like this. What do you know? There's another one right there. Looks just like it's natural. Traps in right below the water level.